Hello and welcome to another episode of Alex's Afternoon Art Show. It's getting later in the day now, so I don't know if I can really call it afternoon, but should be enough light left in the day to draw Spider-Man as part of our Marvel vs. Capcom 2 mural. This is character number 8 so far. And yeah, so we'll have some things to talk about, but this one won't be very long, I don't think. None of them really are. But yeah, intro time. Okay, I didn't really want to linger on that for too long because I didn't want you to realize how lopsided my eyes look today. But yeah, I've not added any more characters. Again, I kind of want to get through this kind of batch before I start expanding the canvas anymore, because I'll need to make it considerably bigger as we're going along. Because again, 55 characters, and we've currently got, I think, like just under 30, something like that. I'm not about to count them, but yeah, we'll start removing the ones we don't need, and Spider-Man is going to be the first one who overlaps with front stuff, or with stuff we've already done. So once we're done Spider-Man, we'll see some stuff kind of changing really there. But yeah, so we'll just start turning off stuff because we don't need any of this on. Alright. Now, so Spider-Man. Reference wise, this one only had a head as reference, kind of like Wolverine. So I remember this looking a lot weirder than it does actually, which I'm grateful for. But yeah, Spider-Man quite small, so again I don't anticipate this taking too long. The webs are obviously the thing that'll take a little longer to draw. But yeah, so I tried to somewhat capture how Bendis draws Spider-Man, but there's a lot of this here where I was like, I'll just figure it out. I'm gonna need to change some stuff about how the spider looks, because the spider, or the upper legs are too big here. They shouldn't be that big. But yeah, I have a picture open in front of me, and it's funny how it's rare that you see a Bendis drawing of Spider-Man that is not from a side profile, primarily because I think Bendis found it easier to draw Spider-Man from a side profile, or at least a partial side profile where his head is maybe facing that way but his body is still kind of straight. But it's funny, I think Bendis took a lot of influence. I'll just start here. I think Bendis took a lot of influence from Mark Bagley on how to draw Spider-Man, because Mark Bagley's Spider-Man is very kind of skinny but still muscular. It's very thin muscle, like kind of. I suppose you'll maybe see it as I'm going, because I'm gonna need to. I think I want to tone down Spider-Man's arms here actually, because I made Spider-Man maybe a little too chunky. But that's kind of whenever I just start drawing from nothing, I tend to get very loose with proportions and make characters quite chunky. I suppose that's just my natural disposition, within reason. But yeah, I'm trying to keep my back straight while I'm drawing here, because I found that throughout the last few of these I've been coming away basically not wanting to draw ever again because of how much pain my back is in. So I'm going to try and keep my back straight within reason here. Keep myself length straight up. But yeah, let's see. What else did I intend to say? But yeah, oh yeah, the shape of Spider-Man's eyes with the way that Bendis draws Spider-Man is very unique actually. That's not from Mark Bagley as far as I can tell, because I suppose it's kind of Mark Bagley-ish. But yeah, like the way that Bendis draws Spider-Man's eyes is something you don't really see anymore anyways. I wouldn't really say you see many artists nowadays doing it, but I suppose in a sense, yeah, it's kind of similar to how Mark Bagley would have drawn Spider-Man's eyes back in the late 90s, early 2000s, of where it's, yeah, quite large, and the shape or the black part of the eyes is kind of inconsistent, of where the outer part here is much thicker than the inner part. Which you would kind of expect, but a lot of stuff more recently tends to have it be a consistent thickness. A lot of artists make it a consistent thickness. Like, I mean, Steve Ditko's Spider-Man has a reasonably consistent thickness. I think towards the inner part of it, it gets a little thinner, but not by much. And obviously the white is much smaller than that. But yeah, anyways, I'll focus a little bit now. Yep, there's a lot of interpretation which I have to do from this base sketch, to be honest, because I think this is one of the ones which I just kind of whacked out in about 5 minutes. Because there were a few of these which I did in like a quiet moment every now and then, and I think this was one of them where I didn't actually set aside the time to sit and do it. I just kind of did it at some point or another. Means with some of the fingers in particular, I'm kind of having to try and remember what exactly these are supposed to look like, which is difficult because again this was God knows how long ago that I drew this, and yeah, like this pose is supposed to be obviously kind of a classic Spider-Man pose, but it's also sort of Spider-Man's kind of idle pose in the game. Not exactly, because Spider-Man's idle pose has one hand up like that and then one hand down like that, but then obviously out like that. So it's kind of got a little bit of it in there of where he just kind of has his hands like that. Sometimes. But yeah, the finger sizes here are something which I'm having to reinterpret a little bit. As you can tell, I really did not care much about the proportions of his hand while I was doing this. So there's some strangeness to it. So I'm just kind of trying to figure it out. As I go. This is what happens whenever you do things in... whenever you do stuff like this, where it's like, oh yeah, I'll prepare all of the base sketches in advance, and then whenever it actually gets to drawing the actual thing, you don't remember what it's supposed to look like really. So you end up with a completely different final product than what you initially intended. Sometimes it works for the best, sometimes you just don't know. And this is one of those times. I have no idea if this is better or worse than what it would have been had I not done this so far in the future. I have no idea. I'll only assume that it's better, just because it'll help me sleep. Okay, so we got through the webs. That's always the part that feels like it takes the longest, to me at least. Next is the dots. Now, I can't remember what I was going to say. Oh yeah, I didn't really bring much attention to it, but I didn't use my usual trick for drawing Spider-Man, which is just use a reference image from the video game of the same name, which made my life a lot harder. But at this point, I've gotten a little bit more used to doing that method of drawing Spider-Man. So it's a case of where I can kind of pull little bits from my mind, little bits. I can figure out from my mind, but the dots here I don't anticipate taking very long at all, because there's very little we actually have to dot. I was assuming this one would actually be a quicker one, but it seems like it's gonna, at least in the recording time, be almost exactly the same length as all the other ones. We'll see. Okay, now we gotta do the colors. So with Spider-Man, actually shouldn't be too hard. I think we actually don't have that much left, believe it or not, because that's the kind of situation we fall into with Spider-Man, is that it speeds up a hell of a lot faster than you'd think. Because Spider-Man's only got 4 colors. There's 3 black, and then black, white, red, and blue. That's it. Ooh. I think Spider-Man's so high up on the list here, that'll mean scrolling into that is going to be a bit of a pain. But yeah, so I think for our red we're probably going to use something that skews slightly more orange, because that's the type of colouring that Bengus uses, and and quite a bright blue as well. Not as dark a blue as I would normally kind of go for with Spiderman. I'd normally go for something which skews slightly purpley for the blue, but I think it makes more sense here to use something that is quite a bright blue. Something that kind of falls around here I think would work perfectly, yeah. Because again, as I said in the last one, I think it was, you have to be careful with these colours because some of them don't come out all that well on screen. This black is maybe a little dark. Hold on, we'll see whenever we turn on the blue here how dark it is. Well, you know, I think that's fine. I think it's actually fine, this. But yeah, based on the kind of varied shape of Spider-Man's eyes here, that's going to make doing the black a little easy. I'll try to keep my back straight. Have to lean in at least for this. My back is already tired, so it's a good thing this is a quicker one. Okay, there's our colours done. My back is very tired now. You can tell it's getting dark because the frame rate on the camera is getting weird. That's always what happens whenever it starts getting dark. But yeah, I think we'll be done in the next, like, not even half an hour. But yeah. So yeah, it's just the shading, then we got to do the light line, and then we're done. Then we're done with Spider-Man, and then we get to see how he shapes up against the rest of the characters. So Captain America would probably be a better one to comparison against. Okay, yeah, the dark is on the right, and then the light is on the left. Okay, right, remember that. Now, let's do this. Alright, so we're just about at the end here now. Just gotta do our light line, and then that's it. Let me throw on the background so that I can see it. Okay, now we can turn off the background, because, well, you know what, I'll leave it on for a minute. And yeah, our blue is just barely different enough, so it's a good thing that we did the blue on white on our generic background. Oh, my spine. Oh. I'm a very crackly human being. Oh, alright. Nearly done, and we're only an hour and 20 minutes in. So we've just got this, the home stretch, really. Make our brush back to default, and then put it on the dark side. And then that's us. Then that's Spider-Man done. That's 8 characters done. And then we're good. We're good and finished. So let's do this here very quickly. Okay, so there's Spider-Man done basically. And again, as I mentioned before, the camera's getting laggy now, so you can tell the light is getting low, which means this file size is going to be annoyingly large. But yeah, that's Spider-Man done, and in under an hour and a half, hour and 25 minutes is our current time anyways. But yeah. So let's see how he looks against the white background. Just as good, I think. And let's close him, zoom out a touch. Seems about 25%. He is small. I didn't realize how small he was before, but I think it's fine. I don't think it'll be too egregious. It is a bit strange how small he is, actually. Yeah, it is a bit strange, but I think it's fine. I think it's fine. He's technically further back than Wolverine. Yeah, he's technically further back because his hand is at Wolverine's foot level. So he's technically further back than Wolverine. So okay, I can at least use that as internal justification. So that's, we've got 4 of them done now, and so we've got 4 of the others done as well. So if we zoom out a touch more, we can get them all roughly in frame. Don't need to zoom out a little bit more than that though to get everyone in clear frame. But yeah, it's shaping up nicely. Spider-Man's colours come out very nice, very vivid, very good and vivid. And I've talked about this to death now. I like the kind of focus of this is to get all the colours as bright and as acceptably bright as possible. We don't want a situation of where it's like it hurts to look at, because whenever the gradient map comes in, the gradient map will kind of wash it out a little bit, which we don't want too much of. We don't want it to kind of because I'll be using the kind of autumnal color palette a little bit more, that will kind of wash it out a little bit. So we're going to want to kind of, within reason, we're going to want to kind of bring up the colors a lot, so that whenever the grade map comes in and it kind of just, it only puts a little bit of a wash over it, of where it just kind of makes it all kind of, it unifies the color palette a little bit more, because the stage we're currently at, it's going to be a fairly kind of assaulting kind of thing here, where there's a lot of different colors going on here and there's nothing really unifying them. So far, a lot of blue. And yeah, so yeah, I think that's us. Next time, I believe, next time will be Strider. That's the next character we're doing. Strider, hear you. On the Capcom side, and he's kind of also in front. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, I suppose we'll sign off here. So I'm happy with this. But yeah, if you like the video, do what you normally do. And I don't want to pressure you into anything that you wouldn't ordinarily do. In the same sense, I don't think it really works most of the time. People saying, "Oh, I like the video" and whatever. I don't think it really works. But yeah, if you do want to like the video, go for it. I'd be happy. If subscribe if you want. Because yeah, I mean, that also helps. If you want to subscribe. And if you decide to watch the next video, I'll see you next time. So yeah, I'll just say goodbye. So